actually hadn't marked up GJ yet. Do you have GJ? Well, I have it from last week anyways.
No, I just working hard. I'm exercising a lot because of David Goggins, like a lot more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I think it's just that, like it's literally just Goggins just empowering me.
It is. It is. That book, Can't Hurt Me, was life-changing for real when I
hmm
read it. Yeah, and the institutional method of entries and exits, it's pretty exciting, huh? I know you've been looking at it too.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
Mixed with a bit of my own retail twist to it, my
yeah.
own retail trading twist, it works perfectly. You know, well, not perfectly, but most of the time.
Yeah. So it clicks, and the training I think will be ready. Well, you guys will get it before anybody else. So hopefully by Monday, I'll just go ahead and get the videos uploaded into the Accelerator training for you all, and it's gonna be sweet, man. And that's the same way that we did it, using those same methods, and then price action, structure, looking at these things like, so how do we incorporate what we already know, not have to throw that stuff out. But really just apply that and tie in the whole picture together. So it's gonna be super unique, and it's gonna be sick, man. So yeah, let's get into some of the charts. And yeah, and so Daryl, the way I usually approach the weekend too is I make a watch list of all the setups that maybe aren't around a buying or selling zone, but look like they're in the middle of forming. And then I make a hit list, like okay, wow, this looks like it's going to be a great trade this. And so, and then focus on those, especially early in the week. So then I can, because for me, when I find a good position or, high opportunity setup in the market, I try to just milk it for all it's worth and then move on to the next, and like if there's 40 pairs, there's going to be, 10 that are like, wow, okay, I can see where this could go. And there's going to be 3 or 4 where it's like, okay, yeah, I really like this setup here. And so, I just write it down in a journal, and I go over that in the training, making a watch list and a hit list for the weekend. And then that way, through the week, we know what we're going to trade. There's no guesswork. You turn on your monitor and you're already zoned in, where your levels are. And, the more we can go into this, the more chance of pulling out profit we get, and that's. Hey, what's up, traders? Hope you like this video. Doing a $100 giveaway for everybody that likes, comments, and is subscribed to our channel. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and you'll be entered in the drawing. Enjoy the video. What's going to happen here, I think I wouldn't rule out a move lower. I think this could become a good buying opportunity if it revisits these lower levels before, because if we do get a breakout, there's some big targets way higher, which is like, 200-300 pips away, but like securing an entry down here around this 80% retracement of where we are, I think could be a great entry. We're at a massive level here. If we were to break down, it would be a pretty big drop. That really depends on what happens with the dollar. We were listening to Blake's weekly outlook video before this call, and he is really banking on a weak dollar, but which I could definitely see that happening, but maybe not yet. So if we get some sort of retracement lower, I think could provide a really good buying opportunity. This looks like a false breakdown here, so there's different points along the way to watch. I think this 61.8, if we zoom in to a higher or lower time frame, 30-minute here, we go across, and we see we have a nice sell to buy move right there. So that could be a good target to watch. And then of course, if we get down here lower, this would be like a really, really good entry, which would be kind of retesting this former zone here. But the way we found this, right, is this move where we have a push up, and this is like a wick over wick here. So you can see if you zoom in, there's typically some sort of institutional candle hidden in there. So we want to be calculated about our entries. That's the name of the game here, especially when we're looking for finding these type of entries, which would also kind of coincide with the bottom channel here. So dollar Swiss has some potential. It's not like if we get down lower, I think it could be a good opportunity. Euro USD, on the other hand, I think long term, I would have to agree with Blake that we're probably going much higher here. We've been in this consolidation. Looks a lot like a bull flag pattern here. But are we going to break out this week? I don't know. I kind of feel like if we do get some dollar strength, this could be a good one to retest the bottom here, which then would be an excellent buying opportunity because it's been hanging around here for so long. Once it's hanging around this long, it's probably going to continue going up. It's just a consolidation phase to continue the move. But if we were to break down these gray boxes, I have would be a potential buy zone in an institutional area. That's an imbalance right there. So improper price action. You can see that big candle. So that could be an excellent buying opportunity for long-term trade. But where we're at now, knocking up against this resistance, this could be a decent potential short early in the trading week. Some of my hit lists, on the other hand, that I really like, which right off the bat we could see some action. I think Aussie New Zealand looks really good down here. We've been trading this for weeks now. I've been talking about, on these different buy moves along this channel. And for me, especially from an institutional frame of mind, this looks like an amazing liquidity pool that was built. There's support, more support here. Tons of traders definitely got long here, right? And so this is a buy to sell move, faked everybody out. And probably a lot of people getting short. And if we look left, remember, we always want to look left. We see here is imbalance, institutional candle. And so we close that out, which would make the way for a move higher to retest the top of this channel. And New Zealand was crazy strong last week. So, and it looks pretty overextended. So that would kind of free up the door for Aussie New Zealand to rally. NZD CAD had a huge rally, huge move to the upside, and got capped off here last week. I kept shorting it and getting stopped out, but I think it's finally just about done, even just judging by this daily RSI here. So if we think that, wow, okay, NZD CAD could really turn around, make a move to the downside here, bring in some Kiwi weakness, that would make sense in correlation to Aussie New Zealand with Aussie gaining strength, NZD weakening, and we've closed out this IT position and then making a move higher. So I think that looks like has a lot of potential. And I'll share just a couple more. US dollar Mexican peso, on the case of dollar strength coming in the market, I think looks really good to the long side, because if we go over here, we've closed this gap out. We're almost to this IT candle position, right? So getting somewhere around there. Of course, this is a big range in terms of dollar Mexican peso. Like with this pair, you got to be careful to get those good entries, because if it starts going against you, it moves so fast. But I think all the ingredients are here for a big position and a big move to the upside. So if we go from bottom to top as well, where are we at on the Fibonacci? Well, we're at the 78.6% retracement, right? So huge key level that always seems to come in play with these institutional moves. We just closed this gap and this improper price action in the market. So I think this is gearing up. If you're trading this, especially on your challenge, like go easy on it, because like it moves so fast. But if you, this is one of the situations that if you can get a good entry early, get into some profit, you can leverage those profits down the road in order to give you space and room for the max daily loss limit, so you can kind of start to really crank on later on. And you know, if this is a bottom here, you know, like it's gonna go, we're gonna see a big move to the upside, and it moves fast. Shooting star right here, you know, so this would be a great upside target. So dollar Mexican peso definitely on the radar. I have a few more. I shared them in the VIP signals group. I'll send them to the chart or to the chat too. But Daniel, you have anything queued up you'd like to share? Maybe like two charts.
Yeah, yep. Let me pull up my screen share.
Can you hear Daniel all right? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let me yeah. And remember, guys, yeah, we have Thanksgiving, you know, next week. So like a lot of liquidity will be like, you know, out of the market Wednesday, especially Thursday and Friday. So that's a big time for a lot of hidden moves to happen in the market potentially. So just be aware of that. We won't do a group call on Thursday because it's Thanksgiving. But you know, I'll especially if we get some hidden volatility in the market come in, you know, I'll be in the elite chat for sure and still trading. So just a reminder about that. So I think we could see an increase in volatility Monday and Tuesday, especially Tuesday and Wednesday, to really kind of make up for that liquidity that won't be in the market the holiday weekend.
All right. First one I'm looking at is Taco, and on the daily we have liquidity pool built here, some equal highs up here, and we're coming into this imbalance zone right down here with a big daily institutional candle. And I'm gonna set a buy order down down here, and I'm gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait for it to come my way. And if I get ticked in, it'll be a great trade, and if not, then, well, oh well, it wasn't meant to be. And I would ride this up to probably right there. So that's gonna be a move I'm waiting for on this pair.
What was the price that your buy limit's at?
It's at 19,607.
19,607?
Yep.
Okay.
Right in there. I mean,
Okay.
Really.
Yeah, I see. Midway in that candle.
Yeah, you could essentially do something like, depending on what your risk appetite is.
Right.
But you could run something like that. So you have staggered in 3 positions. You might get knocked out of these first 2, but then you get triggered into the last one, and the risk to reward's so worth it that you're good. Just run smaller lot size on the more aggressive entries, so that if you do get kicked out, it's not super painful. That one, and then what else? I'm watching UJ still. I'm waiting for something to happen with this one. As you can see here, I'm in this trade here right now. So I'm hoping that we'll get a push up, but there's always a chance that we might come down into one of these zones down here. So, you know, move stop loss to break even to cover and just see how it goes. Let it do its thing. It had 2 retracements here to this IT position area. So I'm hoping that we're good to go on that. And I'm watching USD knock because we just made equal lows, broke the upper liquidity pool right here. It's been destroyed. And so now I'm betting on it taking off. If we go to the 4 hour, what I want to do is I want to wait for price to come back to right here. Somewhere on this candle right here, this one. And it looks like it may have had a retest at 50% here. So if I get a retest on either of these two lines with price, then in my mind, it'll be good to go upward, at least to this imbalance area, but I know they've made these equal highs up here. There's an imbalance right above it. So my target would be a long position, let's say right there, and then I'd run this up to there. That'd be a good one. And then I'd take partial profits here, and I'd actually take a TP here and I'd just let it run. Because if they're gonna run it, if they're gonna go up with this, they're definitely gonna go after this liquidity that they have built up. And who knows, I mean, maybe even higher. I guess it kind of depends on dollar strength. And if the dollar decides to collapse, then we've got these points down here I'll be watching. GJ, I'm still sitting on the same setup that I had last week. I'm waiting for price to come down to this area, and I'm looking to go long, but we'll see what happens. It depends on Brexit deal with this one. And then the last one I'm watching is NU. I'm waiting for another retrace up to either of these points here for an entry, and then I'm gonna ride this thing all the way down because it's got so much going on down here imbalance wise. So I would take target profit 1 and 2 in here, maybe a third here, and then leave a scout to just run. You could swing this all the way down somewhere in here because of all these imbalances that have built up. It really needs to clear that stuff out. And we're also sitting at, let's go to the weekly. Just about highs, you know, from like a year ago. So got some good liquidity built up here. It makes sense in my mind that they want to drop it now, and then they'll come back up, but you never know. NZD's been so temperamental that who really knows. On EU, I'm honestly looking for a bullish breakout at this point. I'm not shorting this pair anymore because I don't know if you guys have been trying to short it or not, but it just doesn't work. It's like it doesn't care. I've been watching South African Rand USD. Here we had a retest confirmation and it's rocketing now. So I'm just gonna see what this thing wants to do. I haven't entered it. I kind of was gonna wait for it to pull back here, but it hasn't quite made it yet. So, and nice. Then I'm bearish USD Swiss franc. As you can see, you know, got an entry up here. So I'm hoping that we can get down into this zone for a final take profit and then re-enter long down here and ride it back up. And that's what's on my list. I don't want to add too much because then it kind of
yeah.
To be too many.
Nice. Thanks for sharing, man.
Yeah.
Raul, what are you looking at, buddy?
Yeah. Is it okay if I share some charts?
Yeah, of course, man. Please.
All right.
Yeah, I know you're about to get back in the saddle with your challenge, and you know I want to see you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm keeping my eyes on UCAD, but I'm not sure if it's going to reach this level. I mean, it's with a bit more USD volatility, maybe some bullishness in the USD. I can see it. You know, I can even see it reaching here by the end of the week, maybe for one leg down. Same with the dollar as well, because there's a huge imbalance up here. Then there's also an imbalance here. You know. Yeah, that's my UCAD. I've got charted up. AU, I'm in 2 positions right now. Yeah, this has a bit more room to run. It's at a resistance, and I charted up some of the IT candles and got in a couple of entries here. I kind of leveraged my previous position, so I luckily didn't get taken out at break even on my first position, so I've still got that one open,
Nice.
and I'm using the profits for that just to for this re-entry. So I'm just waiting for this one to kind of drop down. So even if I lose on this one, I'll still end up in profit because I was pulling partials, which is great. But I can see it going down to this. Well, on the 1 hour it doesn't look good, but to this candle here, and to the 50% of the previous sell to buy candle. I can see it going down to that this week with some more USD strength, which correlates with the UCAS analysis. And talking about USD strength with EU, I can see it rallying as well. It's got two imbalances, one there, and I'm seeing it go to this level. I've got it all charted up already, ready for it. And this trade is going to be absolutely huge if we take this one. When price reaches this imbalanced candle, it's like look at that risk reward ratio. It's huge, even if you extend your stop loss to above that previous wick, just in case, just to be more conservative, then it's a 11% trade to the next imbalance, which is great. So keep your eyes on that. That looks good, and it's in correlation with Blake's analysis on EU, with more bullishness on it, which is pretty good. EJ. I took a trade on EJ, but for the following week, I think it's got a bit more room to run. There's no imbalances I can see, unless you guys can see one right now in this little structure here, but I can't really see anything huge pop out. But I can see one here. That's a huge one for a long-term trade. So I'll be looking for sells there, and even if not there, then this previous high, which also correlates to EU, the huge imbalance at the top. There's a huge imbalance at the top here, and then there's an imbalance here for EJ, and with EU.
Yeah, with EJ, we're sitting at a 78.6, like pretty much every yen pair right now.
Yeah, I had them charted up last week, I remember, but I got rid of the fibs for this week. But yeah, I remember there being a 78.6. Yeah, dollar analysis is going to be a bit bullish, probably for the start of the week. Towards the end of the week, I'm not sure. I'll just see how it reacts, really. But there is two imbalances, like I said, that need to be filled still. So my analysis would be bullish for a bit. But we'll see towards the end of the week because you never know. It could flip very easily.
Right.
AJ.
Interesting too.
Yeah.
I sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
No.
when I look across the board, like I see a lot more opportunities for dollar strength rather than dollar weakness. But like I just listened to the weekly outlook that Blake did, and he sounded pretty bearish to the dollar for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it being bullish for the first half of the week, maybe for Monday and Tuesday. Then maybe turn around Tuesday, you might see a huge bearish impulse. We'll just have to wait and see, and then I'll be a bit more cautious on my dollar positions for sure going into next week. I always am anyway with dollar, but yeah. AJ, I've got charted up here. I'm gonna wait for AJ just to kind of break through this resistance, break through this imbalance candle, and reach this this resistance area. That's where I've charted up my 50% and my entries. But I've just picked up this pair. I've never really traded it, so I just want to see how it goes. I'm gonna I might not even enter. I might just leave this set up and just see how it runs because I've never really traded AJ before. But yeah, that's looking pretty good as well, and that's my long-term target for AJ for sure. Yeah. And nothing really.
AJ has a big correlation with the S&P 500 and equities.
Right.
That's just
right.
one
Yeah.
while it's going.
Yeah, definitely. I haven't really charted S&P with imbalances. I still need to do that. I didn't get around to it, but yeah, definitely I'll keep an eye on that. And GU finally, I'm in a position. I'm in this position. I'm going to be holding this because it's at quite a key resistance level, but we'll just see how this one goes because it's pound, and pound is pound could be a pain in the ass. So I'm gonna be a little bit careful on this one.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Thanks for sharing, man. Yeah,
No
speaking
worries.
of the pound and Yasser, what are your thoughts? You have any charts ready, buddy? What are you? Wait, hold on. Unmute your. There you go.
Yeah, I got it. Oddly enough, I've got an EOS one. It's a lovely little one. I want to show you.
EOS?
Yeah. Let me show you this.
Okay. Let's not go too far down the crypto rabbit hole. just to make that disclaimer.
And let me get my chart. 1 second.
I mean, have you been crushing it with this whole crypto run so far?
Yes, I have. And I got a daily entry. This is how, so it was on this weekly support here, bouncing. It's broke out. Now, the problem you have with cryptos is you get these massive spikes and jumps. And what happens here is that the ecosystem is such that the availability of tokens is not everybody that's got tokens can trade them straight away. Okay. So what I tend to do is I do this lovely little thing here. So this is a daily candle. I just want to show this. See this daily candle here? Now people get FOMO and they want to enter. But the way I enter on a daily candle is I will wait for a 618 retracement on a daily candle if I want to enter and match up there. And I do something like that.
Wow, not bad.
Yeah, so all the time, literally minimum entry on a daily candle will be this. And then they're going downwards, and then in a hope to pull up, and your stops are just below. That's what I wanted to show there. So you don't get FOMO, you just hold tight.
That's cool.
Yeah, that looks great, man. So you
cool.
entered on that. You entered on the 618 right there.
Yeah, I got an entry. I just banged an entry on that. So that was a buy limit on the 618. Okay, and that was that. Just so you just have to hold tight. You really can't jump in all this because the next thing could just shoot up. But your stops, just bang on there. Just bang there.
Nice one.
Just below. So at least you got a way out. But on the FTMO, they don't have it. So it's just a hodl for me now.
Yeah. What do you have anything pulled up for GJ or?
No, not at the moment. I'm just, to be honest, I didn't even get a trade on it. I only got 2 days trading, and it's just stuck in that range, and it's been an absolute sort of nightmare.
Yeah.
Not moving anything, and I think it's just waiting for EU news. I think because the EU news is such that they haven't said no, they haven't said yes. They've just be like, oh, someone's got COVID, and we're holding back a bit. You see what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, well, here's a question for you then. Since you're midway through your challenge and you're, all your GJ is pretty much all you trade now. What if the clock keeps ticking and you need to switch the game plan and move to something else?
I'm just sticking to what I know because I know I'm going to make it. All right, and and I know what I can do. And the problem is it'll just put pressure on me,
right?
To think, and I know what I can do in the long run. I know I'm always profitable at the end of the month. Now it might be 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%. That's fine. But the problem is when I start shifting around and trying to do something new, I always mess up. So I'm just going to hold tight, and hopefully only got 2 trades in, and they weren't even perfect trades really. Last week, and I'm just gonna have to wait. And if it takes another 2 weeks to wait, hey, that's that. It is that, and then that's how it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's wise of you for sure. That's probably better than just trying to jump in and finish stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just gonna do the way I know it, and then and if it doesn't, it doesn't. I can't really.
Yeah, you got time. You got plenty of time for sure. Does anybody else have any charts queued up they'd like to share? Davender, you got anything? You getting back in the swing? Shoot me a message, man. Let's get you back online and track for after Thanksgiving. Cool. Jeff, Jao, if anybody has,
I have some stuff I could share. If,
go ahead if you don't mind.
All right, I'll jump on the share screen here real quick. All right, everybody see that?
Yep.
Cool. So this is kind of where I start my week every week. Like, we talk about, I start looking at where the dollar might go and things because I'm concentrated more on the dollar pairs. So I kind of start out here to remind myself the overall direction of kind of the week there. So the dollar is right here in this consolidation phase. This trend line that I have is a weekly trend line that goes back to 2011. So again, I always pull back and look at this because the break of this trend line after COVID and then the quantitative easing that happened after that, which was pretty much QE infinity, was like, the death of the dollar. And as soon as that was announced, you can see what's going on here, and it's nothing but this downtrend. And I'll jump out to the weekly real quick just so you can see it. I know this is big for Forex and moves on the interweek there, but since 2011, we did this. COVID hit right here. The dollar spiked. The Fed had to tamp that down, so they did QE infinity, and now the dollar is falling down out of here. All of this move here was like the panic that was going on over the summer and COVID and everything like that. So once we broke down below here, I've kind of, we settled and consolidated for a full week here. So I go back to the daily, and you can see where this is at. That was the week after we broke out of that weekly trend that went on for years. Now we're putting pretty much like accumulation here where we're breaking the lows, breaking the highs, come down. This is the election. I've got this ray here because it's the midpoint of this move, and this is 93.30. This is like the really strong, like this is where the dollar takes its stand. So, we could definitely see moves up to 93.30 there, being the midpoint of this. And I do expect, that we're going to come down here at some point. I'm also looking for dollar weakness. So if we see any strength, I expect it to 93.30 and then a push back down. 91.80 is the next place that the dollar really wants to go. So I'm going to trade my interweek moves here, each day off of the direction the dollar is going on the daily, based off of what's going on here. I don't expect to come all the way back up here this week because I'm looking at this kind of IT zone here. There's these overlapping wicks, and I know that price is going to go back up there, but I totally expect it to come down to 91.80, and then we'll come all the way back up to this trend line weeks from now. So that's kind of my position. So if there's any strength, I only see it up to 93.30 and then the weakness. So then I go into my pairs. I'm looking at Euro USD. And again, I look at it at a longer time frame. So this is exactly kind of what you guys were talking about, where you're going to see the euro go up. It kind of looks like it wants to come up to this zone. So that's what I'm looking at. If we move into the week here, just to kind of make it more relative of what we're talking about, I'm looking very much at what I'm looking to enter where Raul was looking to exit, which is going to be right around here. So, if I find a long position, it would be something like this for me. On a move like that later on in the week, to break out of there. On Audi USD, it's I'm also watching that. I kind of have this marked here as the top. I know eventually we're going to want to make it up to that zone up there, but again, when we go inside of the week here, I think we're going to go down a bit before we start heading up that way. And I'll just, again, watch the dollar index and see how things develop there. Somewhere right around down here might be a good place to enter. I could put the stop below the trend line and it'll push up into there. Great British Pound USD, I started watching. That's really interesting. You were telling me to kind of take a look at that, so I did. The way I'm looking at that one's kind of in this really interesting pattern here.
And by the way, that reminded me, the Fed meets Wednesday, I believe, too, since you mentioned.
That's right. And again, in the thin liquidity like you're talking about, again, I've seen over Christmas periods and Thanksgiving periods in the past, if you want to go and back test it, the moves just get gigantic around those times. And it's exactly like you were talking about. They're aiming for those targets. And when folks are on vacation and not really paying attention, they make those big moves happen and people miss them, you know. So
Right.
it really is a super opportune time to, if you can, you know, catch the moves there. But again, with Great British Pound here, I'm expecting to see more upside here with that dollar weakness that's coming in, you know, like, you know, maybe a small move down and then up here, but that'll reconcile at some point. And then what we're all looking for is that big downward move, you know, that'll come. And then you guys are mentioning how USD Mexican peso is kind of like the canary in the coal mine for when the dollar strength comes and things like that.
Yeah.
So what I'm looking at here for the downward target, again, you know, this is on the weekly time frame, but you know, this is kind of where I see it holding, which is exactly where you guys are kind of talking about putting your target. If you go over here, you know, I think we'll see a bounce up, but I think it stays inside of this, you know, and we come down until we actually clear this out. If you look at this on a daily, it's a big, you know, those overlapping wicks like Daniel talks about. There's targets on almost all the pairs like that they seem like they're going to. And the reason that I have this kind of these flag patterns here is if you go back on the Mexican peso, it seems like it's just its favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just fading down here. And I think it continues to fade because if you look over at these moves, at the bottom of every move for weeks on end, it starts going sideways every time before it decided to break up. And, you know, we're still going down here. It seems like we'll just, you know, we'll go right for a couple of weeks here before it starts to pick up. So it just seems like that dollar weakness is in the cards here. It just seems like that's what's coming for me. So that's basically in a nutshell, you know, that's what I look at as I start the week. And then you were talking about following, you know, some crosses, and everyone's watching NZD CAD. So those are two pairs that I don't traditionally watch. So I decided to start looking at those because it's crazy how much NZD strength is there right now. Like, you know, there's articles out there like the Kiwi is king and money's just flowing in there. So I'm interested to see how far this goes. The beginning of this move right here, you know, it actually looks like it's, you know, it's going to be one of these. Like it looks like it's got a lot farther to go. So I'm interested to see what happens there. You know, you just, you know, I'll be careful. I'll be watching on the daily. You know, I'll be watching for signs of a turnaround here. I mean, it's got to come back a bit if you want to get in again too. So I'm going to just kind of research NZD and research CAD and how they move and why they move, and then maybe I'll start to get into those other crosses too. So just trying to expand my horizons a little bit, but then plus follow what I traditionally do as well. That's about it.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's making quite a good series of lower highs. The way on, just like
it certainly, yeah, it certainly does. It certainly does. And you know, and if you threw a trend line here, it broke out, it retested. You know, that's you know, that's what concerns me kind of is right here. It looks like it's breaking out and retesting. It wants to move again, and more than the technicals, those fundamentals about just all the money going into Kiwi right now, you know, it seems like, and it makes sense because the island nations are going to be hit really hard by coronavirus when it comes. So it'll be making sense that money's pumping into New Zealand right now because they can report, you know, it's kind of like a buy the rumor, sell the fact type of thing. Like all the money will go in there when coronavirus hits. If cases spike, it has to go out. It'll be terrible for the island nations. So you know, they'll all get hit, and New Zealand dollar should get hit really hard if we have, you know, more coronavirus cases, like if we get a second wave or, you know, whatever decides to pop up, you know.
right.
So
Awesome
that's kind of
analysis. That was really good.
thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I really like how you break down the dollar index there first before even consulting the other dollar pairs. I think that's a great strategy I should do more often, even, you know what I mean? Because like that really gives you a good sense when you look at it at the weekly chart there as well. You know, it looks pretty bearish. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I mean, you know, still the jury's out in terms of the election, and you know, there's no confirmed thing. So it could get pretty interesting in terms of risk the next few weeks. Which I think would strengthen the dollar with it being a safe haven, but who knows? We'll see. It really, like Blake was sharing on the weekly outlook video, is really good. I think it's worth it, especially Jeff, what you just shared. A lot of you guys have a lot going on there in terms of the dollars, so it's definitely worth a listen in terms of the case for dollar weakness, for sure. So Yeah, awesome call, everybody. Somebody said, "Gotta go, guys. Enjoy the rest of the call." So, yeah, awesome call. I think it's going to be a great week. I think Monday and Tuesday and even Wednesday are going to be super volatile. I just have that feeling leading up to Thanksgiving and maybe even Thanksgiving Day. So, be prepared. And is anybody starting a challenge this week or?
Yeah, I am.
Oh, okay, cool. You excited?
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Everything planned to crush it.
Dude, you got to get excited, man. You're going to crush this market. You're going to get funded.
Hell
Come
yeah.
on, bro.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you got to get ready, man. But you're going to do awesome. You're going to do awesome. I believe in you.
I think so.
Yeah, I know how hard you've been working, man. So yeah, that's good. And what's your game plan?
I can share some charts if you guys want to.
Yeah, sure.
But
Go ahead.
I'm looking more.
We have a couple more minutes, but really just like if
Yeah.
you have what's your in terms of watch list and hit list for the week? What are you like zeroing in on? You think is going to be a really opportune setup?
Yeah. So I've been looking to Euro USD. I have some setups there marked up, and pound GBP USD.
Okay.
And yeah, GBP AUD and USDCHF. I have some setups marked up already for probably Monday, Tuesday to see if this pans out, and then I'm just with the flow, going with the wick, see what the market gives to me, and just don't rush any trades. Just let the trades come to me, and that's it. Yeah,
do you have your Euro USD chart pulled up?
Yeah, I can show you.
Because we have it's got the case, a real good case both ways could be made for it.
So can you guys see it?
Yeah.
So let's see. As you guys can see, I have this high T candle marked up here where the price rejected like 3 times. And then, so what I am expecting them, let me check this Dixie. So with the start of the week here, I think that we might see some S&P coming down, targeting this IT candle right here, and then getting a bounce up in order to take out this liquidity pool right here, And with the S&P coming down, this would mean that we get some dollar strength. So yeah, I think we might get some dollar strength to this level right here, where we get this last bullish candle, and then we get this pretty dollar weakness. So I think we're gonna get a push up to this level right here, bringing some dollar strength and bringing the EURUSD down to this level, so that then it can bounce back up. That's what I have here now, and the other setups that I have is more or less the same. Here, as you guys can see, the price is rejecting this level right here. We got some nice wicks rejecting this level. Euro with it's kind of a schematic distribution schematic right here, and it's panning out pretty nicely. So I think we might get some good trades out of this pair. And then USD CAD, yeah, I've been trading this pair a lot during this past week. So I think we might get some dollar movement down, but with the dollar strength, I think we can get a movement even higher, probably to this level right here, where we get here another IT candle.
Yeah, I did a chart too on pound Aussie. I think it looks pretty good. Take a look at it. It's in the VIP signal channel. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look for sure.
Really, really similar to what you have there, and I marked it up pretty with the institutional style, I guess you would say. So yeah, I'll share that now. And yeah, man, you're gonna do great. Way to go too. Because nobody in the call mentioned that with Euro USD. What's going on with the S&P 500 first? And what would be the catalyst for dollar strength to bring it lower? Well, that would definitely be if we can continue to see kind of a heavy equity market that would strengthen the dollar. So good correlations there, buddy.
And the thing, I always take a look at S&P, and the latest past weeks, we get always like a mixed market. We never get like perfect correlations. And the S&P is like, you get dollar weakness, dollar strength, mixed markets, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to aiming for not higher target trades, like I aim for like 60 pip, take profits and something like that.
Yeah, I would
Take what the market gives to me.
Yeah, that's a great, man. That's a great philosophy. So, because like, especially the past 2 weeks, I've been trading. I got in some great trades, and I was like, oh man, this is going the distance, and I held and got taken out at stop loss, and it was super frustrating. So, taking some off the table, especially when you're doing a challenge, is super important. And yeah, and I would say definitely using S&P 500 for your correlations is a great play, but even if you see an awesome setup on the S&P, you might want to avoid that on your challenge because it could go against you and you know, really put you in the red super quickly. So stick to Forex, especially with the challenge is my recommendation. So awesome. Good call, everybody. And anything that you missed or you didn't share it in the VIP chat or in the elite chat. And I think we're gonna have a great week. It's gonna be fun. I can tell that I think turnaround Tuesday is gonna be big. I just have that feeling. So we'll see. Jeff feels it too. He thinks so. So yeah, awesome call, everybody. Let's crush it this week. Everybody's doing great, and looking forward to call with Daryl this week and getting you set up, buddy. And yeah, thanks for hopping on the call.
Thanks. Take care, guys.
See you guys.
See ya, everyone.
Take care. See ya.